Sony releases some of the reasons why they decided to develop the activities function of the PS5, which lets players instantly travel to quest locations, etc., to speed up games. This is especially being used, as I've seen on my timeline, for, side quests, or, people who are completionists, but they have kids now, and they don't want to run around the map for an hour and a half looking for the area. They just go into the activities page, they're listed, click on it, brings you to the location, and you can just go ahead and do that quest. They created this, so this is why. They did a survey. I will pull up here. They did a survey of about 3,000 players for this. This was like an internal Sony meeting where they were discussing this. Where the key problems that came out of the survey that players were listing was that, one, they had no idea how long I might need, and don't play unless I have 2+ free hours. Takes a lot of time to scan through long help videos when stuck. How to engage socially without the risk of spoilers, so going to look for solutions to their problems in a game without getting spoiled. And forgot what I was doing in the game the last time, and hard to get back into. So somebody that might have been playing a longer game, let's say they're playing a JRPG, like a Persona 5 or something, and it's like a 100-hour game, and you played 20, 30 hours, and then life happens, and you don't get back to it for a couple weeks, you come back, and you've kind of forgotten what was going on. That was another one of the things that came up in their survey. And so the activities thing, the feature, was designed with these kind of things in mind to try and help players that are in these situations to do so safely without risk of spoilers, and to be able to still enjoy the game and things in the game that they want to enjoy, but they don't necessarily have 2+ hours of free time to get around to doing, instead of just clicking on the activity, getting to it in the game, and actually accomplishing said task. I think it's a great idea. I was kind of like skeptical about it at first because I didn't know how many developers would take the time to really properly implement it in the games, but at least up to this point, and we're still early days, though I suspect that if it's being used right now, it's a good chance it will continue to be used in the future. It's been relatively well used, and a lot of people have had positive things to say about it. Nobody's really had anything particularly negative. It's definitely helped for people who are interested in getting the most out of their games, but again, don't always have all that time. I mean, if you weren't, for example, if you weren't doing this for your work and you were off doing something else, I mean, the amount of hours in the day that you would have to sit down and play games would be pretty dramatically reduced. And so, I know, like, for me, when I first read this, what dawned on me is I forget that I'm doing this for a fucking living. So when I know that you do RP, so it's not the same, but even when you do a Let's Play and you play for like 4 to 6 hours in one sitting, that's not necessarily representative of the majority of people playing games. You don't get to sit down for 8 hours all the time. Some people will block out or like take time off work. A new game like Cyberpunk 2077 comes out. All of a sudden, everyone has like, I don't know, fucking polio, and they're fucking out of work for like 2 straight weeks, and all they're gonna do is drink gamer fuel and fucking inject it directly into their main vein and play Cyberpunk for 2 straight weeks. And there are obviously people that will dedicate as much time as possible to gaming, but it's still not the norm to play 8 hours every single day on video games. It's just not the norm. So for people that have kids or whatever at that stage of their life, and they're working and they only have like 1 to 3 hours but 3 hours of fucking god tier, but let's say 1 to 3 hours in a sitting, I can totally appreciate why this would be a super valuable tool to have. And honestly, as somebody who likes to be a bit completionist myself, I could probably see myself using it, and I'm sitting in front of my computer doing this shit as a living. So, I'm thumbs up on it. Do you think, if you were playing these games, do you think you'd make use of the activities thing if you were trying to get, like, side quests and stuff done, or do you think you'd just go at it the old-fashioned way?
I mean, I'm old school. I'm teetering more on the side of I like this than not, but I also don't like this in a way.
Mm.
And listen, if somebody's going to pay $80 for a video game or $100 or whatever these games are going to cost
Mm.
at this console, say $100. I mean, people have the right to enjoy that game the way they want to enjoy it. So if they want, it's like buying a movie on Blu-ray. I mean, if you want to skip certain parts of the movie, or you want to fast forward to certain parts, or you want to, leave the room and take a piss without pressing pause, you're free to you paid for it. You're free to experience it however which way you choose. So on that side of things, I think it's a good thing. Because options are good. On the other side of things, I'm not a fan of it on the fact that, for one, it will undermine the
Undermiming would be even better.
undermining. um, it undermines the effort and the achievement that other gamers do by figuring shit out themselves, by getting lost, by not giving up, by finding their way back. When I hear things like, oh, well, I don't want to go on the internet and potentially look up, spoilers on how to get to a spot and get spoiled. It's like, motherfucker, you're going to look for a spoiler. You just want to pick and choose what spoilers you have. And listen, once again, you pay the $80 or $100. You can choose how you want to experience the game. I'm not telling you that. But as a gamer and a purist and an OG, I think that there is something. I mean, we talked about this on a podcast not too long ago, where we talked about, Dark Souls or whatever, not catering to the casuals, keeping the game hard. And I do believe the both of us were on the side of keep it hard. This is the type of game. If you can't muster up the skills to play it, or you just don't want to learn how to be skillful enough to defeat said bosses or the game, then that sounds like a you problem. But then you've also got the other side that's like, well, I don't want to struggle. I just want to play it for the story, or I just want to get through it. Like I'm stuck here and I want to complete it. Like, I get it. But on one end, if Final Fantasy 16 comes out and you're playing it on your PS5 and you've got the developer has made 50 hours worth of side quests, and you can go on an achievement list and click a warp, essentially, to where you need to go to do said quest, it just doesn't feel right. For me, as a gamer, it feels like cheating. It feels like you've put in a cheat code and now you're handed stuff. It's like playing StarCraft and typing in "show me the money." It's like playing Mortal Kombat and doing up, up, down, B, A, down, B, B, A, B, down, 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 and getting all the characters unlocked, or having unlimited lives in Contra. It just feels like you're taking it. It feels as though, and I get why Sony would want to do it, because it caters to another audience that may give up on their game, may not experience all of it, and thus maybe not enjoy it enough to buy the next one. Maybe the story is really good and they just want people to get through the game to really have that full visualization of the game, and that way they'll appreciate it. Instead, their memory of it is getting stuck in a hallway for 2 hours. And then eventually they're like, bro, this is fucking, no, this ain't it. And then they leave, even though they probably would have really enjoyed the game. So I get that. But at the same time, we're gamers here. That's the part of the video games, is muscling through, figuring it out. If you need the odd hint, yeah, go to YouTube, do your own thing. I'm not a fan of doing that purposely. I mean, I did it when I was in my teens, and you're plowing through so many games, and yeah, sometimes you go to like Game FAQ to make sure that you're completing what you need to get. Like, I get that, but I mean, at the same time, like, this is a feature that's built in. Now, I understand at the same time that developers also have to opt in to do this. So it is a developer's discretion, but something kind of tells me that they may either be incentivized to do this from Sony. There might be a kickback. There might be a little bit of something extra if they allow this feature to be a thing, because why advertise this feature if no game developer is going to use it? I mean, I guarantee you when Sony goes to a developer, it's pitched, we would like you to have this, or could you do this for certain missions within your game? Can you create specific missions for this feature? And it just, I don't know. Maybe there are other gamers out there that's listening to this that feels the way I feel about this.
I'm sure there are.
Imagine a gamer that busts their ass and they get full 100% completion on Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto or Witcher or God of War or Mario, whatever. I'm just throwing names out there that takes hours and hours to find every star or banana or whatever. And you got to find these secret locations. And yeah, sometimes dialogue, an area is in this little part of a dialogue on a side character somewhere, and you got to go out and find it. Or you're playing Skyrim or Morrowind, and you bust your ass and you achieve it. And then you see other people achieving the same level almost effortlessly by the click of a button. It diminishes their achievement. It's almost a slap in the face to the ones that are achieving this. You know what it is, Adam? This is everyone gets a medal. That's what this is. In a weird roundabout way. Hey, I'm the better gamer. Hey, I worked harder. I did this faster. Because a lot of it is time related too. I did this faster because when you play a game and you get 100%, the only way to do better than that is to do it faster. Because once everybody gets to one level, everybody gets to one level. There's no way to differentiate who actually did it better, except for the fact that the time. Hey, you did this in 8 hours. I did this in 7 hours, 56 minutes. Got you. Go back to the drawing board, bud. Instead, it's the click of a button. So, in one way, listen, people can enjoy the game the way they want. I'm not taking that away from them, but I'd be a liar if I said it didn't feel not right. It doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, I think, like you said right at the beginning, options are good. And it's options from top to bottom, right? It's options for the developer to include it. It's options for the player to use it. And I agree that options are ideal. I don't have a problem like the Dark Souls example. I wouldn't have a problem with them having an easier mode as long as it means that their default modes or whatever aren't affected. Like, if you're going to give me the same Dark Souls experience that I played through originally, and then you're going to release a remaster that has that same difficulty, but then a step down for somebody who maybe just really likes the lore or whatever, then fuck if I care. I'm still playing.
What happens if they warp right to each boss?
So I'm not
You know?
I'm not at that point yet. I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about like difficulty as a thing in terms of options, because it is ultimately it's an option, right?
But getting to a place and figuring out is part of the difficulty.
Oh no, I'm not
Right?
talking about. I'm not talking necessarily about Sony's thing yet. I'm just talking
Yeah.
about difficulty level, not
Oh, okay.
not that
okay.
part. Yeah. I'm gonna get to that part. So as far as difficulty as an option, that is, as long as you don't fuck with the standard difficulty, the harder difficulties, or you still provide that, I don't give a shit. Because, you know, for me, it means I'm still playing the difficulty I was always going to play anyway. And if somebody like, you know, M wants to play the game and she's not nearly as mechanically inclined for certain genres as I would be, but she still wants to play it, easy mode is there, great, awesome, and then maybe she likes it so much she wants to up the difficulty later on, even better. Great. So now as far as as Sony's implementation of this activities thing, for me, the only part that would make me, and you kind of touched on it towards the end, the last part of your discussion was where I would agree most with you, is that when it comes to achievements, so if activities and using activities does not alter, like if there's no asterisks on your achievement, right? It's not, I completed, you know, let's say I 100%ed Red Dead Redemption 2, right? If you did that with activities and there's no asterisks there, now you're diminishing, now activities is diminishing the achievement itself of actually 100%ing it on your own and not relying on activities. You know, whether or not somebody went to YouTube and looked up the solution is whatever, but it adds another layer where it's even more accessible and plants you in front of things. That's even more of a detriment to the achievements. As far as from a gameplay perspective, I don't give a fuck, because again, it's an option. People can do it. The only thing it really hurts is achievements. Really and truly. It's like if you're amongst your friend group, like you're saying, you're comparing, like, look what I did, and then somebody else said, well, yeah, I did that too, and you'll never know whether or not they used activities or not to achieve the same thing, then yeah, that's about the only thing for, like, as far as gaming, you know, bravado goes. But like from just being able to sit down and do something because it takes less time and it cuts down on you running around looking for the starting point of the quest. I mean, does it diminish the game experience? For me, it would, which is why I wouldn't personally use it. But I'm not everyone. So if somebody else doesn't give a fuck about that and they just want to do the thing, and they don't care about the journey of getting to that thing, that's not a part of their gaming experience that they find particularly important to them, then they can go ahead and fucking use it all they want. What I have here in my notes that I question is, I have it here, I'll just read it. I said, while I think this is a great idea, I can't help but wonder, and this is a kind of a two-part thing, I can't help but wonder if it's also an indication of poor game design. So, like, games, for example, as time has gone on, have become more and more about, you know, having collectathons in them. You know, every adventure game or every whatever, it's like, how many of this, like, insert random item can you collect that we've hidden shit all over the map? Or menial questing, where like Final Fantasy VII Remake, 90% of the side quests are like fetch quests or walk from one side of town to the other and have two like
It's
completely
like MMO questing.
Yeah, it's like completely useless filler content that means nothing and doesn't add to the story at all, but it's just there to pad content. And now, you know, with activities, it's like, yeah, I already know that most of this is just frivolous bullshit, but I want to do it to get the most out of the game. But knowing that it's frivolous bullshit, what do I care if I skip the line in terms of, like, running around to find it? Just let me click on the thing and start the quest and be done with it. It solves that problem, but what I'm getting at is, does this being a thing also hint at the fact that a lot of game design now is kind of lazy? in that regard. In an ideal situation, especially you continue to use the open world situation where this is the most obviously applicable, open world games, adventure games, and RPGs where there's that many kind of quests and activities to do in the first place, is ideally a side quest adds to the story in some way that isn't necessary to understand or appreciate the main story beats, but can give you a bigger appreciation for certain smaller portions of those story beats or characters involved in that story. And when that's the case, and when you've crafted this big open world, it gives you, or the player, a reason to go off the beaten path. If you just mainline the story, the main story, you're not going to go off the beaten path and see all of these wonderful places that the level designers spent all this time crafting, these nice set piece moments or areas, visually or with cutscenes that might be involved in the questing, etc. In a perfect world, you know, you don't need volume, you just need a handful of these, and it allows the player to explore the world, see more of it, like having them appreciate the work done there, get some quests that actually mean something to the story. It's not, like I said, not necessary, but it's additive in an appreciable way, and then that's it. But when you get to a point where it's like Assassin's Creed, I'll use it as an example, where as the series went on and on and on, how many collectibles were on that map gave people PTSD. You pull up a map of fucking Assassin's Creed and all the collectibles on it, and you can't even see the map. It's just icons, fucking everywhere. It's like Tim Hortons in Canada. If you pulled up a map of Tim Hortons in Canada, so many of them you can't even see the map anymore. It's just fucking icons of Tim Hortons all over the place. It's like that, but in Assassin's Creed, and it's useless. It adds zero to the story. It is nothing. The best that it does is it does give a player a reason to explore the map and search all the nooks and crannies to get an appreciation for it. But there's a point where the returns on that start to fucking drop off when you're talking about 1,500 collectibles on a map. It just gets silly and a bit, in my opinion anyway, a bit lazy. So I think that this is two things. I think one, it's solving a semi-lazy game development problem by having people see all these things to do, but they're so voluminous and time-consuming to get to them and do them that this speeds it up. And two, because of what I just said, it points at the fact that maybe we are getting a little too lazy with it and going for quantity over quality and clawing that back a bit, so that maybe a feature like this isn't really fucking necessary. Like, why, if the game wasn't shoving 710 side quests down your throat that means absolutely nothing, like go collect a hot dog for a kid on the street and fucking Miles Morales Spider-Man and turn into a fucking, like, street heater on the way on over, if that wasn't a thing, would activities even be really fucking necessary? It wouldn't be nearly as necessary. So, yeah, I'm for it as far as options go. I just think that it does point out the fact that maybe we're getting a little crazy with game design.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been a little crazy with that, and I mean, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, there is a lot of lazy shit. There's a lot of stuff that is just collecting for the sake of collecting, but also that's part of the achievement. I mean, it's been like that since Mario 64 days that I can.
Well, that is literally a collectathon by genre.
Yes. So, like, there are a ton of games, and I believe that's what Assassin's Creed does. They just pack a bunch of shit in there. You can still do the main story, and it's almost as if Sony is, number one, trying to speed along gamers to complete these games faster. And then not only that is they're trying to make it more accessible for people to complete games, like, fully.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has anything to do with that. The people that are out there collecting stuff in the masses are complaining that, oh, I'm so tired of doing this. The ones that are out there being completionists, that's part of.
Oh no, this isn't for them. This is for the people that
but I mean,
don't
why,
already.
Yeah, why exactly? So like, why would a non-completionist, a casual player, suddenly want to collect every Tim Hortons in Canada? Why would they want to collect every Starbucks in America? It's one of those things, like they're catering. That's why I don't think this is for that. I think that this is to speed up the games and keep people to get people to complete a game, to complete an experience. Because I bet you the vast majority of people that buy video games do not complete them.
Probably.
And I'm not talking
Excuse me.
completionist stuff. I'm
No,
talking
actually just finishing.
story, like just the game.
Yeah.
And it can be for a number of things. It can be for the I don't have enough time. I don't necessarily think that is, because the facts are, if the game is good enough, you're going to find the time to play it. It's
sure.
what we do. It's what we do as humans. It's like, you watch Game of Thrones and you're the busiest person on earth, you're going to find time to watch Game of Thrones.
100%.
You really like Breaking Bad, you're going to find time to binge it. You really, really love a video game, you're going to find time to play a video game. And the people that are taking advantage of these of this sort of stuff are likely not hardcore gamers. They're casuals. And they're casuals that I think Sony wants to feel as though they're completing a game. I mean,
what about this? What if it's for casuals in the sense that it makes the game makes playing certain games that a casual might not have considered before actually consider purchasing?
I don't think that's it. I think what it is the games that they are purchasing, because a casual doesn't go, you know what? Casuals don't even know about this.
Because for Sony, why do they care if they finish the game as long as the game is sold, right? So
because it's an experience. They want them to feel as though they've made an achievement, and they're more likely to buy the next one. If you go and spend $100 and you go, I didn't even fucking finish this game. And if you didn't finish it, chances are you didn't enjoy it. Because if you enjoyed it, you would have finished it. You would have found the time. So they want you to complete an experience, because a lot of these AAA titles, even though they're bad games, they're good stories. Like, you got good actors. You almost got like a Netflix experience.
Lots of times I said, I just want to watch this movie. I don't want to play this game.
Exactly. Yeah. And what's the fastest way to make that happen? Click a button and warp to each almost cutscene. Beat this little spot, cutscene. We're still keeping the story moving, keeping you interested, keeping you going. Next thing you know, the game's actually beat. And then you go from a 12-hour game to suddenly an 8-hour game. So not only does it make it shorter, but you have a better experience. You spent less time playing it. You got the full experience. You go, man, I really, really like that story. And even if a game is bad, and then suddenly the last hour or two is like a really good experience, suddenly you almost forget the game is bad. And you're like, it was, I guess, rough at the start, but pretty good story. The next one comes out, you know what? I want to see what happens to this character, or these sort of things. And it's the same thing with the Netflix series. How many times have we tried to get into a Netflix series and the first couple episodes aren't that great, but you hear everybody's like, dude, you just got to get past third episode. Once episode 5 happens, I swear to God, you're going to be, it's just a matter of getting you to that point. Some people just need that push. They need to literally be force-fed the stuff as easily as possible. And then once they make that hump, they're sold. Next thing you know it, Sony is selling, another copy of their first-party title, and they want to go and buy that next one. Instead of, I spent $100, I played it for 4 hours. I don't see what everybody's talking about here. When does the fun happen? I'm not into this. I played it for 2 hours after my son went to sleep, and I never got to the good stuff. And if you're still not getting to the cake yet, you're just gonna go do something else. We're in a time where everything is like instant gratification, and especially with Netflix and stuff. If I don't get hooked on something, I'm gonna go and try and get hooked on something else very quickly. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I think that's what they're doing with video games. They want you to have an experience. And if the developers have done the right thing in terms of creating a good experience, then chances are if you're force fed it and you're getting to it quicker and you experience what they want you to and they've done their job, you're going to enjoy it. And you're going to buy the next one. It's like Christopher Nolan. He always wants everybody to go watch his movies in IMAX, in Dolby. And it's like, bro, don't watch this at home if you can't. I want you to experience this how I wanted you to experience this. And chances are it's like Interstellar. You go to IMAX and we just remember like, oh my fucking God, holy shit, this was just incredible. And if we didn't experience it in that, it still is incredible. But if we didn't have it in that complete package in that way that they wanted you to open it, it's like when you go to a specialty burger place, you like burgers, they're like, you ain't putting shit on this. This is how you gonna eat it. And they tell you exactly what's going on that burger, and that's the show. Because they want you to experience it in a certain way. They don't want you to ruin the experience, even though you paid for it, because they have engineered the experience in a way to optimize for the best experience. And the moment that you, the casual player in a game, decides that you want to and you want to go walk off somewhere and talk to this NPC and then go do this side quest before even getting into the story, dude, there's some people that play video games and their minds are in a way that they can't, like, if they see something, they have to go do it. And it's just, and the next thing you know, they're playing the game for 8 hours and they've done 10 minutes of the main storyline. And they're going, I'm already fucking bored of this game, man. What the fuck? When does the story happen? It's like, dude, you just spent 8 hours doing frivolous shit that has nothing to do with the story. That's in there for filler content to make the game not feel like a linear straight line. And next thing you know it, you're giving up on it. And now you don't even get to experience the game. And thus you've had a bad experience. And that's why I think this is in place, is they're trying to steer you in a way to have the biggest success, to have a positive experience so that you continue to buy the DLC, that and not only that, I believe if you beat the main campaign, you're far more likely as a casual and you've done it relatively quickly and you've enjoyed it through this system, you're far more likely to go and then be a completionist because you've had such a good experience. And now you're more attached to the game emotionally. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to turn this back on and I'm going to start going to collect these stars and all these Tim Hortonses and all these Starbucks. Now I just feel like doing it because I don't want to leave this world. And you're spending more time into the game. I think there's a deeper science to it than what it is at face value.
I agree. I mean, everything in media, whether it's a book or music or TV or film or games, it all comes down to it being packaged as an experience, right? It's like you buy a book and you want the experience, you're buying the hardcover copy or you're buying the leather bound motherfucker. You're writing a daily journal. What are you going to buy, like a dollar store one? Or are you going to buy that leather bound shit? You can fucking wrap it up at the end of the day and you feel like some sort of like mid 1700s author writing about how you got shit on Twitter today. Like it's all about an experience. And so I agree for sure that a not insignificant portion of this is geared towards trying to provide the most consistent experience as an option for those who wouldn't necessarily perhaps, and it's not like it's going to be 100% of the time it hits, but it will increase the number of people that will have a more positive experience with the hopes of, obviously, like anything, maybe they buy the next game or in the series, or maybe they complete the game, and now that they're done with the game, their hope is they're going to buy another game. And their attach rate for the console, which is like one of the biggest metrics console developers have, is attach rate, game attach rates. Maybe that means that we're going to increase our attach rate, and that's going to be great metrics.
Maybe they get attached to the developer. Like, you know what? I really enjoy. It's like a movie director. I really enjoyed this movie.
Oh, I mean, how do we already see that already? Like fucking Bethesda, Naughty Dog, and shit. That already happens. Blizzard. People are already attached to developers. I mean, this is another avenue to do that for sure. And And I also so I agree with everything you just said, 100%. There's nothing I disagree with there. I do also think that they hope that that before they even get to the point where it becomes an experience, where somebody looks at a game that they wouldn't have normally played in a genre that they're uncomfortable with, and they know that activities is a thing that may help them with that experience. Maybe they actually buy the game now because they know that that is an option, or they know that they'll be able to more. Because I know one of the things in activities is also that it shows you how long an individual task will likely take you. And so just as a tool, it also helps people manage their time within games as well, in that regard. And again, all lending to a more positive experience. You know, how many times in a game, or even when you were younger and you had all the time in the world, and you start up a quest in any game.
That's the beauty of it, Adam.
Right? No, but I mean, I understand, but like, how many times has it happened? I'm not talking for us.
Hey, you know what? You know what, guys? I guess we'll start the next little thing. Next thing you know, 3 hours have gone by. You're like, and you know, that's, man. I don't know. The more I think about this, I see where you're.
It's not for us though, but for like somebody else, where they sit down and they're like, all right, I might start this specific quest. And then they know that this specific quest is going to take them 3 fucking hours and not 30 minutes, and they don't have 3 hours to commit to it. Just the knowledge of knowing it's going to take 3 hours is fine.
I don't like it. It's almost like a spoiler. It's like, hey man, the average person, it took this guy 21 minutes.
And I agree with you, and I wouldn't use it for that purpose.
God damn, man.
But there are lots of people who totally would, who would want to know that. So I think net positive for sure, because it is ultimately an option. And so, you know, as long as it's an option, then there's not really a downside.
What would make me happy is if you use that it's shown on your profile, that it's, you know, hey, you've completed this with the help of.
That's what I meant by, like, you know, you get the achievement, but there's an asterisk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and maybe there's even achievement where you get it without using it. You know what I mean? Did not receive any whatever. I don't know. Because if you don't do that, it's just like, man, I feel, and I'm not even a completionist, I feel for the ones that are out there putting in the work. You know, it's the one at the corporate job that is doing the same amount of work as, or is doing more heavy lifting, but the asshole that just comes in and knows the boss just manages to skip the line. And you're like, well, what about me, man? I work so hard. And you realize that nobody gives a fuck about how hard you worked. The reality is it's who you know. Use the assist then. If you don't like it, if you're feeling that down, I don't like that shit. Personally.
It does like, for me, it does kind of lend itself to taking away from a game being a game, and kind of breaking it down into, it almost turns it into like
those click things. You know those cutscenes where you're clicking X and square. It's got like a little element of that to it, where you're like, what the fuck?
quick time events.
Yeah, it's a quick time events to get to the game. It's like, what the fuck? Why? And
coincidentally, you know why they originally created quick time events was to give you it was to give you an experience that you wouldn't be able to likely pull off if you were given full control. Like you're like
interactive video.
God of War, where it was really first heavily used in the original games, like all this crazy shit that you were doing. No player was ever going to pull that shit off if you handed them the controls. But visually, as an experience, you know, you're like, oh, we got to press X in time. You know, we can kind of make them give the illusion of interaction when there's not anything there. But yeah, I feel like it turns the games into more of ones and zeros and very sciencey, and not necessarily an escape at that point. If you're just looking at like, how long is this going to take? Can I just get to this right away, et cetera, instead of just sitting down and doing it, kind of like you just sit down, read a book, or sit down, watch a movie, and even if you don't finish the movie in one sitting, just fucking pause the movie and come back to it later on. You know, I don't necessarily need to always know the movie's runtime to decide whether or not I'm going to watch the movie. So, yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like they're breaking it down like a science fair project or some shit.
Yeah.
And like or like a syllabus in a like for a report at school or something. So anyway,
it's literally like opening up a book and you got a table of contents there, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna skip to this, this, and you're missing all the gems on the way there. You know what I mean? Like, even just think about if you're in an RPG or whatever, just being out in the world and experiencing what the developers have made for you and your surroundings, and just that alone.
Yeah.
And then no longer having that experience because you're being warped to where you need to go. It's like, that ain't it.
Yeah. So again, just to put a cap on it, options are good.
That ain't it.
They're out there. It's definitely got its target market. Props to them for you know, taking the time to build something like this out. And I will continue to be interested to see how many games make use of it and in what way, because all the stuff we mentioned, some developers could just find unique ways to kind of get around some of the issues that we've just mentioned. Like, they could still be using the system, but in ways that are less intrusive, because ultimately I have to imagine developers also want people to experience, like you said, the Christopher Nolan's example, want people to experience the game the way that they were hoping you were going to experience it. And so they can still totally kind of like pick and choose a la carte what functions of activities they can use to still allow you to hopefully get that experience while still giving you the options to manage your time with the game.